Hello and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita Louise, and thank you all for tuning into the show today. Man, you guys keep getting here earlier and earlier. I'm going to check in and you'll be here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I appreciate you, even if I'm giving you a bad time. Anyway, so I've been kind of on a little bit of a roll, and some of the stuff that I've been working on, I probably cannot talk about on this show. But I am going to talk about one aspect of what I've been investigating and what has kind of set me off on this little journey is about people and their passivity to their health. Today, we live in an epidemic where we really don't take accountability and responsibility for our health in the general sense of the word. Now, granted, I'm going to caveat this. You guys are here and you're listening to me, and so I know that I'm not talking about you, but for those other people that might be watching this video, it's them. It might be you a little bit, who knows? But so when we get sick, we've been trained, and I'm using that word very specifically, trained, to go to the doctor and have them deal with whatever is going on with us. Excuse me. But as part of that programming, we've also been trained to give up our power and to remain a passive recipient to whatever the doctor happens to say, as if they know everything and they should be held on high. Now, granted, many times they're very smart people. They've gone through a lot of education, a lot of training, et cetera, but they're just people. And when you talk about the medical model, they have a bag of tricks that they play out of. So when you don't feel good, you go, they look at you, they might make a guess as to what's going on with you. Or they might send you to go get a test done. And when that all is resolved and they feel like they have a diagnosis to your woe, they will give you a pill, an antibiotic, an antidepressant or something, or recommend that you go see a specialist and have some kind of surgery done. What I find sad but consistent is that their assessment is often very fear-based. Instead of saying you have some little weird thing going on, it's immediately they throw the cancer word. They make you feel like there's something really super serious going on, and there might be. I'm not saying that there might not be, but it might not be. But when we sit there, and we've talked about fear here before, when we are put into a fear-based situation from a very energetic point of view, our first chakra closes up, our energy moves up into our body, and our ability to differentiate truth from fact, from fiction, to be able to check in with our body and our psyche and spirit as to whether it's resonating with us becomes compromised because we're sitting in a fear place. But again, they only have one bag of tricks. They can throw a diagnosis at you and give you some kind of pill or recommend some kind of surgery, and pretty much that's where they end. But there are so many other things that you can do to help and support your health, especially if you're not feeling good, especially if you're not feeling good for a long time. Now, granted, if you get into a car accident, if you have a heart attack, if you, God forbid, something very acute happens, maybe taking an herb or a supplement isn't really the appropriate next step. And so there is a place for mainstream medicine and the emergency care that they can offer. And if you're in a car accident, do you really care what they? I mean, you care what they do, but do you really care what they do? As long as you're not bleeding out, that kind of thing. Um, but I got examples. I got examples. So let's say you lift a heavy box and you hurt your back, and now you have sciatica happening and you're gimping around your house and it hurts. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor sits there and goes, "Oh, you have sciatica." And they write you a prescription for some kind of muscle relaxer and a painkiller, and they send you home and tell you to rest. Well, so you do what they tell you because they know what they're talking about, because they're the medical professional, and you lay around on your sofa for a couple of weeks, but it's not really resolving. You're not feeling any better. So you go back to the doctor, and they might suggest, go get an MRI or whatever, or they'll refer you to an orthopedic surgeon, or want to, because you might need to have surgery on your back. Thus, the fear based porn stuff I was talking about that now scares you that this thing is a lot worse than you originally thought it was, and you might need to get surgery because they know, because they're the doctor. What I find, I'm actually going to say it this way, what I find offensive is that these same healthcare practitioners do not ever recommend anything less invasive than those two options, pills or surgery, drug you up or chop it out. I mean, if you hurt your back, one of the things you can do, and I mean, some of this stuff is so freaking old school. You can go home and soak in the bathtub with Epsom salt. You can put ice on the area if that seems appropriate. You can maybe take some essential oils that are more relaxing to the muscles, like lavender or chamomile, and put that on the affected area. Maybe you could go get a massage. Maybe going to a chiropractor would be an appropriate thing to do. But all of these things are less invasive than going and having back surgery done for a sciatica situation. And, so that's kind of my point. Um, so if you're hurting and you're going to these people, why not recommend things that are less drastic before these intense actions are taken? And now you have the net effect of, now I'm on steroids for the rest of my life, and the potential side effect of those, or some other medication and the side effect of those, or they do some kind of surgery, and now that the surgery has happened and a few years have gone down the road, and you have adhesions and you have other secondary complications because of the surgery. Again, if it were me and the choice was, I'm going to go soak in the tub for a while, long before I'm going to go get in line to have surgery done. Always, always, always. And if I try these other methods and they don't work, then that's the next step. That's the next logical step to be taken. But I have some examples of, people deferring their choices and deferring their autonomy, healthcare autonomy, to other people. So I have a friend, this was just this week, and she was had been complaining about this weird thing going on in her elbow. And finally went to the doctor, and they did some test, conductive nerve test thing. And what they told her was that she had carpal tunnel in her elbow, which I've never heard of carpal tunnel in your elbow. It might be a thing. Can't really tell you. Anyway, and so what was the next line? Well, we're going to schedule you with an orthopedic surgeon to have surgery done. And so, of course, she listens to them, goes online and sees, yes, the appropriate course of action for this kind of issue is in the medical model to have surgery done to open up the channels so that the tendon moves through. But again, maybe get some massage, maybe put some ice on the area, There's something it's a class 4 laser that actually I think is a freaking miracle worker that reduces inflammation. Like you would sit there and go, oh man, this is crap. But I have to tell you, it works. And so if you have like some ache or pain, muscle-y type thing, um, and you can find usually it's a chiropractor that will have it, and they have a class 4 laser. Do the treatment. Well worth the money you pay. It's all out of pocket. Well worth the money. But she could go and do that because the side effects from doing this laser 2 or 3 times are going to be way less than having her arm worked on. I have another friend, and he is diabetic to the point that he takes insulin. And we went to lunch one day, and we're eating lunch, and we finished, and then he got a milkshake. And I looked at him, because he had a sandwich, which is very carby, right there, and a bag of chips, which is also carby, which doesn't support lowering your blood sugar levels. And now he's having this milkshake. And I looked at him and I'm like, aren't you diabetic? And he goes, yeah. He goes, but I have my insulin shots and I'll just shoot myself up. Meanwhile, he had like, I'm going to say sores on his legs. I mean, it just wasn't a pretty situation, and his blood sugar wasn't well regulated, but he was not helping the situation with his own behavior. And if you watch TV, there are all kinds of commercials out there that sit there and suggest to you that they can fix you by taking some kind of medication, Ozempic and this and that, reduce your A1C. We can all sing along with the commercial. They make it sound so happy. It's like, oh, I'm reducing my A1C by taking these shots that have side effects. Versus put the freaking bag of chips away. Go and exercise, do things to reduce your A1C by yourself, because we're adults and big people and we can do this. Now, granted, there are some metabolic situations where no matter what you do, it's not going to come down. And in those situations, in those instances, it may be appropriate to take the medication, because it's not fixing. But to take it because you're too lazy is giving up on yourself. I've talked about loving yourself and doing things that are loving to yourself, and taking care of your body, including your health, is loving to yourself. Choosing not to have surgery or not having surgery in the first pass is loving to yourself. So, so with all of this said, again, if there's something acute going on, you get in a car accident, you have a heart attack, you have a stroke, you fall down the stairs, you break your leg, going to the doctor, going to the emergency and getting treatment in that moment is the appropriate thing to do. But if you're feeling a little bit under the weather, maybe take some zinc or vitamin C, go out in the sun and get some vitamin D on your skin. Take a supplement that helps boost your immune system. Whatever. There's so much that can be done by ourselves in conjunction with the medical profession that I am only asking you or putting out to you. Maybe it's time to love yourself and love your body and take away the control that the healthcare industry has over you and your body, and take that back for yourself. Okay. Can you tell I've been on a little bit of a roll about this whole thing? Anyway, so before I say hi to everyone, I just want to remind people, if you would like to schedule a private consultation with me, my webpage is soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. And on the page, and I should make a little graphic-y thing on this, but on the page in the product area, the books, one of the books I have on there is Nature's Pharmacy, and it's a free download, and it has a listing of 125 herbs and 50 nutritional supplements, and it's broken up into like a description of the different products. But it also talks about, so let's say you are retaining water, and you need a diuretic. Okay, That's the technical term, to help you release water. You know, it will give you, it gives a list of herbs that are diuretics that are all listed in the book. So you can kind of cross reference, this is what I have going on, and what can I use to take to alleviate this symptom or not. Anyway, soulhealer.com, it's in the book area, Nature's Pharmacy. Also, if you are new to this show and you're listening to this in a rerun type fashion, but you would like to join the festivities, you can join us. The easiest place is through my YouTube channel. That's Just Energy Radio on YouTube. 3 words, Just Energy Radio on YouTube, 7 p.m. Central. Click on the link and it will get you there, and you'll get to join the fun and join the chat. Also, I would love it if you guys would go to my different social media channels and like, subscribe, follow, give me thumbs up, all of those things, because it just helps this channel grow and supports me, which I like, because you guys like me and I like you too. Okay, anything else? I think that's it for right now. So let me go ahead and change over to the comment area. You guys keep getting here earlier and earlier, and let's see what we got going on. And Don's number 1, and he wants number 1. So Don, we're gonna number 1 Don. And Don, I am feeling better. Not 100%, but much better than I was feeling. And hopefully I'm just as uppity as I was last week, because I was in a space. Okay, Don, let's see what you got going on. Oh, Don, that's your card. Okay, but it cleared right away, so we're good. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go down 1 because I like this one, feels better to me. So Don, I feel like, all right, this is kind of interesting. So I feel like you've kind of been like seesawing back and forth. You have a good day where you're feeling really clear, and then a bad day where you're feeling kind of blocked up and insecure, or, you know, something to that effect. But I feel like it's going back and forth. But the part I want to mention is the fact that you're noticing it. You're noticing, like, oh, I'm having a good day today, or, oh, my energy is kind of messed up today. And it's okay if your energy is messed up, especially if you notice it, because what I see happening is you are balancing those out. And so when you have a bad day, you'll be able to accept it more, accept it better, because another part of you will recognize that a good day is right around the corner, and it won't send you down the rabbit hole of, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. So nice transformation. I like this for you, Don. I really like this for you. Okay. All right, let's see. Master Player Evening, please bring me a number 1 as well, please. Okay, Master Player. Okay, and that's your card for today. All right. Okay, this is going to be short and sweet. Stop trying to push it, Master Player. I feel like there's something you're working on. I feel like you're trying to force it through. Stop. Allow. Let it happen, because trying to make it happen, trying to forcing it to happen is not working. I mean, it's just not working. It is going to happen in its own time, in its own place. And I feel like things are going to get, you know, I'm going to say worse. That's not really the right word, but they're just not going to move. You know, the more you try to force it, the less action you're going to have happen. I do feel like this thing is going to move forward, but just stop trying so hard. Okay. Okay, let's see. Veronica. Hi, Veronica. Reading three, please. Okay. Man, I was kind of afraid of this tonight. Okay, Veronica, that's your card with another yucky card, with another yucky card, with an okay card, with another okay card. I'm going to go with this one here. That card right there. I feel like that's the vibration of the shift that or that's sitting underneath all of this. Um, So if I was going to interpret this mess here, my interpretation of it is, and said into one phrase, is this feeling of lack of confidence in yourself and in what you're doing. I feel like that's the energy that's sitting underneath all of this. Um, And so when I check into that energy, what comes up is screw it, screw them, screw whatever, because I'm just going to be me and I'm just going to do me. And if you don't like me, screw you and the horse you rode in on. So, and again, that's kind of like a self love thing. Like, I love myself more than your opinion of me. So, screw their opinion or their thoughts because you don't have to like it. Okay, let's see. All right, ERRT radio. Number 3. Okay, ERRT radio, that's your card for today. Okay, so I'm hoping this makes sense because it's kind of approaching what's going on from a little bit of weird perspective. But the word that is coming up for me for you is addiction or addictive behavior. I know in the past we've talked about like your ego trying to move forward and control everything. I'm not feeling like what's going on right now is an ego based maneuver. You know, oh, you guys come way too often. All right, I'm going to back up to last week. Sometimes things go right through, but I think last week, and please correct me if I'm wrong, ERRT radio, I talked to you about this internal nugget that was the veil was thinning on. And it makes me wonder if this addictive energy, which I've never seen in you before, is what was sitting underneath that. And if this addictive, and I don't mean like drinking too much. I feel like for you, the addictive behavior is the go, 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 do, do, do. It releases a bunch of hormones inside of you that kind of propel it forward, so it's more of an internal biological chemical addiction that's happening. But I'm wondering if the recognition or the acknowledgement of that energy, that vibration, that feeling in your body is what was sitting behind that veil I talked about last week. please let me know what you think. Oh, and the commentary on this is it's coming to the surface, and I'm just making you aware of it. But what's interesting is it's not an ego thing. This energy is not an ego go, 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 but more of a physiological, biological need um, to the chemistry that is created inside of your body. Maybe when the ego gets turned on, I'm seeing it, but I'm a little short on words on this one. But I think it makes sense to you, I hope. Hi, Karen. It says, good to be here with you. It's been a while. It sure has been a while, Karen. Nice to see you. Okay, and Karen would like a reading number 3. Okay. Okay, and that's your card for today. So, Karen, I get the impression that, that there has been, and I'm just going to say, like, a lot of static in your life, a lot of static going on around you that has really been keeping you from focusing in on yourself, from grounding in on yourself, from being one with yourself. And I feel like what you've been doing, which I think is great, is been moving this energy out that you can be the person in your space, not you and everybody else and all their drama and all their energy and all their static interfering with you and your ability to focus on yourself and take care of yourself. So I think this is a really great place to be in. And this is something, if you are unaware, this is something that you can recreate when needed in your life. So cool. Thank you. And then Miss Amy. Hi, Amy. Reading, please. Number 2. Number 2. Okay, Amy, and that's your card for today. Okay, so, I just repeat some of the stuff that I get, but the phrase that I got was, man, you're ready to lay some whoop ass on somebody in a very nice way. I feel like there's stuff going on around you that you have had to employ some like super good boundaries to just hold your space, to take care of you and your own. You're ready to do some whoop ass, not that you would actually do that, but inside that idea and that image and that notion kind of gives you strength and helps you fortify yourself in your space, so good job. Good job. All right. And Christine says, hello, how are you? May I have a reading number 3, please? You sure can. And Christine, that's your card for today. And again, you guys, if this stuff is making sense for you, please, I would love to hear back as far as if it's resonating with you. Okay, so Christine, what do you got going on? Okay, so I'm not feeling like, I'm not looking all that technically here. I just get the impression that you just haven't been really feeling that great. I feel like your energy is kind of pulled back. Um, I feel like you just don't really want to deal with stuff and deal with people. You just want to be in your own space. It is safer there. I feel like there's a part of you that is in need of rest and recuperation. Again, I don't feel like this is like a long term, this is who you are and this is where you're going to be for the rest of your life. I feel like this is where you are right now. This will shift and this will change and you will come out of this cycle. So if you're kind of beating yourself up, which I'm hoping you're not, about being kind of in this funky place, maybe just go, hey, I'm in a funky place, and use that time to recharge your batteries. That's really what I keep feeling for you, is about you using this time for you and recharging. Okay. And I just want to remind you guys, if you do find these readings valuable, if you could want it, you could go to my webpage, soulhealer.com/live, and leave me a little something, something in the tip jar. There's a link to go right to PayPal, and you could leave a tip through PayPal, or there are shopping carts set up in there that you can leave a tip via the shopping carts. But again, soulhealer.com/live. Okay, Amy, Christine, Yvonne, can I get a reading number 2? You sure can, Yvonne. Okay. All right, Yvonne, and this is your card for the day. Okay, so I was trying to separate out, is this you battling yourself, or you, I'm going to say, battling other people? And I just, and I'm going to say that it's you more battling other people. Not that you're battling them, but I just feel like you're kind of sick and tired of them. I feel like you have a code of ethics that you live by, and have certain ideals as far as customer service and how people should be treated and respect, and just, to me, basic things that I feel are being overlooked by other people. And I feel like it kind of irritates you. Thus the battle. I feel like you're not saying anything. It is something I am going to say to notice and be aware of, and make a decision of whether you want to keep participating in that dynamic down the road. I don't feel like you're to that place yet, because I feel like whoever this is, you can't really get away from them right now. And so, maybe just taking that step back and surrendering to the fact that they're a jerk and they're unreliable, and just accepting that this is who they are, versus getting upset that they're not who you want them or need them to be. Might shift your energy so that you can interact with them and at least be happy on the inside. Okay. And Ohura's here. Hey, girl. And Yvonne says, we love you, Rita. Thank you, Yvonne. Finally. Amy says, great Great hair tonight. You look marvelous. Thank you. Okay. See, finally, ERRT radio. Your hair looks great. Thank you. Hey, Marcel. Nice to see you. Karen says, looking good. Veronica says, great topics. And then says, doctors know nothing outside of med school. No kidding. Hey, it's Mr. B and friends. How are you doing? Veronica says, yeah, yes, fear base. And then Yvonne says, doctors study nutrition for 1 hour out of 7 years studying medicine. You know, I'm not even going to get started. You know, there's what they learn in school, and then there's, you know, living real life. Like if they had a sprained ankle, would they want to run to the emergency room? Or would they put an ice pack on it? I mean, why can't they tell you put an ice pack on it? Amy said, healthcare should be renamed sick care. And why doctors practicing on us are they, what are they practicing? It's like they're practicing voodoo magic. That's what they're practicing. You know, and I have to tell you, and I'm not trying to be political here in any way, but personally, I am so freaking happy that RFK is now in charge of HHS. You know, he is a healthcare, an alternative healthcare advocate. And maybe we'll say the common sense thing out loud, and maybe we'll start seeing some changes like maybe don't take a pill. Maybe you should diet. Maybe you should exercise. Maybe you should take care of yourself, not as the long lost stepchild of healthcare, but as the primary thing that we do on a regular basis. Okay. Ricky. Hello, Dr. Rita. Good evening. Can I get a number 2, please? You sure can. All right, and that's your card for today. Okay, so there's a little like cat and dog battle going on, so you might hear Raylan in the background. So, Ricky, one of the things that I am going to comment to you is when I look at your energy, I feel like you're not really grounded. I feel like a lot of your energy is in your head. I feel like with your energy being in your head, and this happens to everyone, you know, it makes it so that you end up thinking about things too much, too long, too intently, versus grounding yourself and grounding your body and allowing things to flow more. And I've mentioned this on the show before, so this is to you, this is to anybody else that's listening. On my webpage, soulhealer.com, if you do the little searchy thing and type in grounding, there's an article that will come up like, you know, calm your mind by grounding your body. I don't know, some article. But in there is an audio file about learning to ground your body. And if you don't know how to ground your body, it is really a great tool to play with that I feel can really help anybody that's listening to this show. So again, on the webpage, type in grounding, and it's just a link on there. Okay. Okay. So Veronica says, I had surgery today, but tried natural stuff first. Still going to use natural meds. But see, Veronica, that is really my case in point. It's like you did that, you tried it, you weren't getting resolution to your health concern. But that's when it becomes appropriate to take the next step, you know, and it gives you the opportunity to look at the risk and benefit of doing that versus not doing something. And you didn't go willingly into the night. You went into the surgery with the understanding of, I am choosing to do this because I feel it will make the quality of my life better versus I'm just doing it because some guy that I don't even know, that doesn't even know my name, said, "Oh, you should do this," which, yeah. Okay, and then Yvonne says chiropractor and acupuncture. Okay, Veronica, take B-Vite, ALA, fish oil. Karen said, I had an earache this week. Put a clove of garlic covering the opening of the ear twice a day for an hour and it's gone. Karen, I wish I could have done that. I got a whole long story, but I'm not even going to get into it. You know, but I'll just share this much. You know, I've been saying that I haven't been feeling well, and it's because I have this weird ear thing going on. And I've been fighting with the doctor because he's like, oh, it's this, and it could be a tumor, and it might be cancer, and you know, and I'm giving him like the Italian salute and arguing with him about what's going on. And I finally figured out what was going on. But no, I obviously can't be right because he's smart and I'm not, which you can only imagine the interaction. Actually, very nice man. I'm like, don't mean to argue with you, but, and he wasn't offended by my demeanor. Oops. Okay. All right. Marcel says arthritis stage 4 in 8 vertebrae. So Marcel, if there's one of those class 4, look around. They're kind of hard to find. I know that my chiropractor has like the only class 4 laser in like, I'm going to say 50, 60 miles diameter, maybe more, probably more in this area. But it really helps. There's Marco. Hey, Marco. Thank you. He says I have amazing hair. Karen says, I'm sure had I gone to the doctor, they would have prescribed antibiotics. Probably. Veronica says, osteopaths, functional medicine doctors, chiros, TCM, massage, and physical therapy. Yes, ma'am. All right. Unar, good evening. Dr. Rita, I have a reading tonight, number 1. You sure can. All right, Unar, here's your card for today. So, Unar, I think what I want to say to you is to just breathe. I just feel like you're not relaxing real well. I feel like you are more used to kind of being in the flow of things that are going on, and you're not right now. I mean, your energy just feels kind of stopped up. I'm not feeling like it's anything in particular. I feel like it's more in reaction to you being sensitive to the world around you. And it's not your energy, you know, and so meditating, breathing, tapping, going for a walk outside, even though it might be snowing where you are, you know, but doing all of those things, those mindful practices that I harp on here, will help kind of bring you back into that flow. Okay. All right. Let's see. Mr. B and Friends says, excellent topic. Thank you, Mr. B. So Veronica says, class 4 laser, never heard of that. I never heard of it either till my chiropractor got one. And when he got it, he goes, yeah, it costs about as much as a small car. So they're not everywhere. But what they do, and okay, so I had hurt my back like bad and was gimping around. But obviously, I'm not going to the doctor. I'm going to go to my chiropractor. And he suggested this laser thing, which was like, I didn't even care. It hurt so bad. I didn't even care. And they take this thing and they go like on the area that's bothering you for like 5 minutes. And I left and I'm like, okay, that was kind of pricey for that 5 minutes worth of treatment. Uh, 2 sessions. 2 sessions, and this excruciating pain that I was in was gone. I mean, all right, it got it down to a level that I was functional and I was kind of gimpy, but functional. And I decided to do a third treatment because his suggestion was get it while it's gimpy, because if it's gimpy, it's going to flare up again. If you take care of it the third time, it'll get rid of it. And this situation has never come back. And actually, I've been getting laser on my ear because there's all this inflammation inside my ear. And in my opinion, it's really helped. So if you have any kind of inflammatory issue going on, finding somebody that does this laser thing, do it. And then Yvonne says, gross, diabetes, change of diet, exactly. Yes, ma'am. Veronica says, Ozempic is bad news. Yes, it is. Marco says, nice top, Rita. Glad you got dressed up for the I always dress up for the show, except for when I don't. Okay. Okay, well, Horace says, hello, dear Dr. Rita. I love your words of wisdom. Thank you. Thanks for your talk on essential matters. May I have a reading, please? And thank you. Indeed. Cheers to you. Number three. Okay, Uhura, that's your card for today. Interesting. So, Uhura, the impression that I'm getting is that you are feeling kind of separated, like from reality, like they're like you've kind of taken a step back. I mean, from me looking at it, it's like you're in observer mode. I get the feeling that it's kind of weird to you. It's a new feeling, a new place for you to be. I feel like it's good and appropriate right now. I feel like there was a lot of drama going on before, and this puts you into a safer, more contained environment and is giving you the opportunity to look without being affected. I feel like this is protecting your energy and protecting your space, and I'm good with that because I feel like it's not coming from a reactive place, which would make me more concerned, but coming more from a personal choice that this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to take care of me and protect me. So good girl. All right. So Veronica says, Mel Gibson was interviewed by Joe Rogan. He had severe PTSD, had a brain scan, and healed it with fish oil, B vitamins, and hyperbolic chamber oxygen. But I'm going to add on to that. So one of the other things that he talked about, which I only sort of watched, was that the use of ivermectin for prostate cancer. And the recommendation, because I had been doing some research on that for a friend, but could never find out what the recommendation of it was. And the recommendation of it was 1 12-milligram pill a day for 12 weeks. And it should minimize or eliminate the cancer. So I hope so. And that was one of the things that I heard that was on RFK's to do, like fast track to do list, was to get ivermectin moved to an over the counter drug. So that would be good. All right. So Dawn says, thank you. And yes, I do live like that most of my life. Cool. All right. Holly Hollywood. Holly Howard. I think you're a new name here. Welcome to the show. And you sure can have a reading, and you're going to get a number one. A number one. Okay. And that's your card for today. So, Holly, I get the impression that you are a woman on a mission. I feel like, all right, hang on one second. Okay, so when I look at your energy kind of in a general sense, I feel like you always are kind of a goal oriented person. But I feel like right now, whatever you're doing, there's all this passion behind it and all of this energy behind it. And you are just energized and motivated and pushing through all of this stuff. It feels really great. It feels really very refreshing. I am going to make the one little commentary that you make sure that you are getting rest. Maybe take an adrenal supplement to support this extra energy expenditure. Um, Not a critical path item. I think the biggest thing is if you're feeling tired, you're giving yourself the opportunity to rest, and not just moving forward with a careless abandon on everything. But cool energy. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. Master Player says there should be no rushing around. Thank you. You're welcome. Uh, Veronica says, love that reading, Dr. Rita. Okay, Veronica, great. ERRT radio says, could it have anything to do with heart condition? I could maybe see them tied together, where that energy that was being exposed was sitting behind all of that, um, and could be sitting behind that heart condition. Um, I would need a bit more information to really like sit there and be real definitive on that. Okay. Hey, Nancy, how are you? Nice seeing you. All right, ERRT Radio says some of what you described is very accurate. Thank you. You're welcome, ERRT Radio. Like I said, some I see the energy, I feel the energy, but being able to take these impressions and convert them into words that make sense in less than 5 minutes can sometimes be a little bit challenging. Vesta, hey Vesta. I have a reading, please, and thank you. You picked the number. All right, you're going to get a 2. A 2, Vesta. Nice seeing you. All right, and that's your card for today. So, Vesta, the impression that I'm getting is that you are working on exploring, that's a good word, exploring the possibility of doing some other things that you perhaps haven't done in the past. Now, I could see this energy be tied to you, like looking for a new job, that kind of thing, or bringing in other kinds of experiences or hobbies or activities into your life. There definitely is this activity like thing tied to it. I feel like there hasn't been tons of movement on it yet. I feel like this idea is kind of coming to the forefront and working on uh, becoming something, becoming more solidified. I do want to communicate that this kind of thought process, inspiration process is a very spirit driven thing. So if you think it's your brain saying, oh, I should be doing this, I'm not getting that. I feel like this is something that you are being led to or directed to do, even if it's not, like hitting you like a box of rocks, that it's developing and unfolding in its own time. So cool. It's Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Christine says, thank you, very on point as always. Ricky said, let's see. Good. Can I get a number, please? Thank you. Pack request. You something, a request on Facebook. Not sure if it got through or not. So I'm requesting here as well. Ricky, I already did it. So I'm just gonna keep going. All right, Amy says, oh, my reading is so spot on today. Yes, a lot of restraint and rebalancing going on internally for sure. Glad to hear I'm doing it as right as I can. Heading to the tip jar. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, because like Amy likes leaving me little tips, and you can too, because you can go to soulhealer.com/live and leave a little something in the jar for me. All righty. All right, Yvonne says, yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Code of ethics, big time. Moving away slowly but surely. Excellent, Yvonne. Okay. Yvonne said, big hearts to RFK Jr. All right, so Anne, you are going to be my last reading for tonight. She would like a number 2. And Anne, I'm not sure I recognize your name. Welcome to the show tonight. Glad to have you. And that's your card for today. Interesting. So, Anne, I feel like you're feeling like you're a little bit overcommitted, that you are having to make a commitment that you are not real comfortable in making. And I'm just going to, for brevity's sake, because it is really time for me to wrap up, that if you are not comfortable in making a commitment regarding one thing or another, then you shouldn't make the commitment, because you are not listening to yourself. You're not honoring yourself. You're not loving yourself. And everything inside of you is one giant red flag that's saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So don't do it. How's that? All right, let's see. Veronica says, Dr. Rita, find a new doctor. Actually, Veronica, I have a good doctor, but they still don't freaking listen. And I went to an ear doctor, and he's the one I was arguing with. So, because my doctor just freaking ignored everything. All right, Unar says, I feel you are correct. And yes, I will do some deep breathing. Great advice as usual. Okay. Horace says, thank you. Your reading was right on, and I'm glad that you helped me with your wisdom, that it didn't mean that I am passive, but I am observant and conscious. Thanks again. Blessing to you. All right. Don says, Dr. Rita, I really hope you have a great night, and please do keep well. I look forward to seeing you every Thursday. Don, same back at you. All right. Amy, thank you. Great live tonight. I hope you get a chance to look more at DSMO Sent Link book. Okay. All right, guys. It is time for me to go. So again, if you would like to schedule a private consultation, please go to my webpage, soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com, and set up a time for a private consultation. You can also go there and leave a little something, something in the tip jar. I'd appreciate that. Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming. A great show tonight. You all, I love you guys, and it just makes me happy to be here and spend time with you every week. So share this show with your friends, like, subscribe. Hang on a second. Let me go to the other thing. Like and subscribe to my other social media channels. Share it with your friends, all that good stuff. But anyway, until next week, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. Be blessed.